Starting a new job is always an exciting milestone, but for some, it ends as quickly as it begins. What happens when your first day on the job turns out to be your last, and maybe on a sad note with huge damage? Join us as we count down 15 of the most unbelievable stories of people whose work journey ended before it really started. Number 15. Car delivery gone wrong. Imagine waiting eagerly for your brand new car to be delivered, only to witness it getting into an accident right in front of you. This is exactly what happened in the Netherlands when a customer was excitedly filming the delivery of his brand new Audi A3. It all seemed like a smooth process at first. The delivery driver carefully backed the car off the flatbed, but things quickly took a turn for the worse. Just as the car was being guided into the driveway, a loud bang echoed through the air. The initial thought was that the front end of the Audi might have scraped against the ramp, though it was hard to tell if it was that or just the ramp slamming down on the road. However, as the driver pulled into the driveway, a motorcyclist came speeding down the sidewalk and crashed directly into the A3. The collision was intense enough that the motorcyclist's head bounced off the trunk of the car and his helmet flew off upon impact. Thankfully, the rider got up without any serious injuries and managed to pick up his bike. This unexpected collision left everyone stunned, including the Audi's new owner, who was watching the entire scene unfold from their window. There were several factors at play here. The motorcyclist was speeding on the sidewalk, making the crash largely his fault. While some might argue that the delivery driver should have checked for oncoming traffic, it's difficult to anticipate a motorcycle zooming down the sidewalk. Additionally, the delivery truck was parked in a way that partially blocked the bike lane, potentially forcing the rider onto the sidewalk. However, it's generally safer for cyclists to use the street in such scenarios instead of the sidewalk. Another key issue was the rider's helmet. It didn't seem to be strapped on securely, as it flew off the moment of impact. After all, it is clear that a helmet only serves its purpose if it stays on during a crash. This incident could have been much worse if the rider hadn't been so lucky. As for the Audi owner, they likely hadn't even officially signed for the car yet, which might mean the dealership will have to handle the damages. The delivery driver certainly had a lot of explaining to do to his boss, and it's safe to say that this bizarre series of events turned what should have been an exciting day into an absolute nightmare. Number 14. Substitute driver's costly package toss. They had one job: deliver the package safely to the doorstep. But in Greensboro, North Carolina, this simple task went wrong in 2015. A USPS delivery worker, who was just a substitute for the regular driver, decided to take a shortcut, literally. Instead of walking to the door, she hurled a package containing a high-tech lock worth $199 from the driveway to the front door. Hassan Hamze, the customer, couldn't believe his eyes when he reviewed footage from his motion-activated doorbell camera. The video, later published by ABC News, shows the USPS vehicle pulling up, the right-hand door sliding open, and the delivery woman stepping out. With an underarm swing, she catapulted the fragile electronics package toward the door. It landed with a noticeable thud. She didn't even check if it was damaged before driving away. Hamze was shocked and immediately reported the incident. He stated he was expecting something professional, but that's not what he saw. He had every right to be upset, given that he paid for the high-value item and expected it to be handled with care. USPS responded quickly to this situation. The postmaster called Hamze within 30 minutes of him sending the video, apologizing for what happened. USPS called the delivery captured in the video unacceptable and took swift action by removing the worker from deliveries. They confirmed that she was in the process of being terminated. Number 13. A woman who signed gibberish. In 2017, Derlyn Roberts took on a job at the Tampa Police Department during a significant press conference. The department was set to announce a major breakthrough: the arrest of the Seminole Heights serial killer. Roberts stood next to the police chief, having been hired to translate the event for the hearing impaired. With such important news to convey, her role was vital, ensuring the information was accessible and clear to everyone. But as the conference unfolded, something weird became evident. Roberts wasn't making sense. For those fluent in American Sign Language, her hand gestures were nothing but gibberish. Words that should have conveyed critical information about the arrest were instead turned into meaningless gestures. Reports from those watching said it seemed like she was signing random phrases like 3 minutes in 14 weeks or 51 hours ago. none of which made any sense to the context of the press conference. It wasn't long before people began to question who Roberts really was. As it turned out, she was no certified interpreter. In fact, Roberts had a history of fraud convictions, including a stint in prison for organized fraud over $50,000. She had been released in 2016, only a year before this infamous appearance. So why did she do it? The truth remains unclear. Some speculated it could have been an attempt at gaining attention, while others believed it was just another scheme. Incredibly, the Tampa police admitted they had not properly vetted Roberts before allowing her to perform at the press conference. They hadn't checked her credentials, and there was no sign that she had ever worked as an interpreter before. This blunder not only embarrassed the department, but also sparked outrage within the deaf community. One deaf woman even commented that it looked as though Roberts was performing jingle bells instead of delivering critical news. Derlin Roberts became a strange footnote in the story of the Seminole Heights serial killer, someone who stole the spotlight not through heroism or insight, but through a surprising and bold act of deception. Despite the chaos she caused, police confirmed that her actions weren't illegal, leaving many still puzzled about what her end goal truly was. Number 12. Lies on resume. George O'Leary had a promising career trajectory in college football, rising to significant acclaim. He spent 7 years as the head coach of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, where he rebuilt the program into a formidable force. By 2000, he had earned the Bobby Dodd National Coach of the Year award and had led Georgia Tech to multiple winning seasons and bowl appearances. In 2001, Notre Dame saw him as the ideal candidate to lead their football team. But just 5 days into his new role, everything unraveled. A background check revealed inaccuracies in O'Leary's resume, which included claims of earning 3 football letters at the University of New Hampshire and holding a master's degree from a non-existent institution he called NYU Stony Brook University. The discrepancies were uncovered when a reporter contacted the University of New Hampshire, learning he had never played in a game. Further probing into his education showed he had not completed the claimed degree. Notre Dame, an institution with a reputation for integrity, could not overlook this scandal. They forced O'Leary to resign, stating that his selfish and thoughtless act had embarrassed the university. O'Leary admitted to the resume padding, a tactic that had followed him throughout his career. Number 11. Bank intern's epic fail. Kevin Colvin's story is one of those unforgettable workplace blunders. In October 2007, Colvin, an intern at the New York branch of Anglo-Irish Bank, requested time off, claiming a family emergency. The timing was peculiar. It was Halloween. While his boss and colleagues thought he was dealing with a crisis, Colvin was actually at a Halloween party, dressed up as a fairy complete with wings and a wand. Colvin's big mistake? Posting photos of himself at the party on Facebook. Somehow, he didn't consider that someone from work might see them. The images made their way to his boss, who responded in an unforgettable way. He sent him an email laced with sarcasm, attaching the photos and copying the entire office. The outcome was predictable. Colvin was immediately dismissed from his internship. This incident raises an important point about social media and work. Many people share personal moments online without considering who might see them. In this case, it led to Colvin's downfall. Kabrina Chang, a professor of business law, discussed the implications of such cases in her research, noting that 72% of 18 to 29-year-olds have a Facebook page, along with 40% of those over 40. While Colvin's case involved deception, it opened a broader discussion on how employees' online behavior can impact a business's reputation. Surprisingly, 85% of businesses don't have clear policies about employees' online activities, leaving a lot of room for incidents like this. For Colvin, one Facebook post turned into his last day at the bank, all because of a fairy costume. Number 10. 10 days in the White House. It's not every day that someone lands a high-profile job in the White House and loses it in just 10 days. Meet Anthony Scaramucci, the man who briefly became the director of communications under President Donald Trump in 2017. Known for his charismatic personality and Wall Street background, the Mooch had a job to bring order to the chaotic White House communications team. However, his approach quickly spiraled into a spectacle. Scaramucci officially started on July 21, 2017, with a bang, promising to reshape the media strategy and clamp down on leaks. His entry wasn't smooth, as it led to the resignation of then Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Scaramucci's bold style got him plenty of attention, but it was his candid interview with The New Yorker that marked his downfall. During a phone call with reporter Ryan Leza, Scaramucci went on an angry rant filled with strong language. He criticized other key figures in the White House, specifically calling out then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Chief Strategist Steve Bannon. The interview was published on July 27th, and the fallout was immediate. Scaramucci's comments were seen as unprofessional and unbecoming of a White House official. The public and media were stunned, and the administration scrambled to manage the situation. Just days after the interview, President Trump decided to let him go. On July 31st, Scaramucci was removed from his role, making his tenure one of the shortest in White House history. Number 9. Money spills on Freeway. Imagine cruising down the road when suddenly bills start flying through the air. This happened when an armored truck's door unexpectedly popped open, spilling bags of cash onto the California freeway. The incident caused immediate chaos as drivers, caught in a surreal moment, pulled over and scrambled to grab the scattered banknotes. According to Officer Curtis Martin of the California Highway Patrol, some of the bags broke open on impact, spreading money across multiple lanes. Among those at the scene was Demi Bagby, a social media personality with over 2 million followers. She posted a video showing cash scattered everywhere, with people running around, scooping up what they could.
Literally everybody stopped on the freeway to get money off of the freeway.
Some even tossed handfuls of money into the air, celebrating the unexpected windfall. Reporter Melissa Adden, also present, tweeted photos of the aftermath, noting that all that remained were money bands from the armored truck. Despite the frenzy, the California Highway Patrol reminded everyone that taking this money was illegal and urged those who picked up bills to return them. Unfortunately for the driver of the armored truck, this incident likely marked their last day on the job. Number 8. Fired over football. Nina Faruqi, a digital content producer from the UK, was living her dream when she managed to score last-minute tickets to watch England play Denmark in the semi-finals of the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament. However, there was one issue. Her job was short-staffed, and she knew her request for time off wouldn't be approved. So, she called in sick instead, thinking she'd get away with it. She made her way from Ilkley to Wembley Stadium, where she celebrated in the stands among tens of thousands of fans. The thrill of the match turned bittersweet when Faruqi was shown on live television during a goal celebration. Her face appeared on screen for the entire world to see, including her boss, who had been watching the game. The next day, her employer called her, and she was let go for lying about her absence. Faruqi was open about her choice, admitting that while she didn't want to get fired, missing the game was simply not an option for a football fan like her. She stated that she would have regretted missing out, and acknowledged the mixed emotions of her team reaching the final and her losing her job. Her employer, Composite Prime, stood by their decision, citing their commitment to honesty and integrity in the workplace. They said they would have been more understanding if Faruqi had been upfront about her request to attend the game. However, lying about being sick breached the company's trust, leading to her dismissal. Number 7. Fridge delivery gone wrong. Delivery day turned into a nightmare for a family in Ohio when their brand new $4,200 LG refrigerator met a disastrous fate. The delivery seemed to be going well until about halfway up the driveway, when the fridge slips and crashes as a delivery man attempts to set it down. Due to poor handling and a lack of securing straps, the appliance tipped over, hitting the ground hard. The damage was immediate. The door was hanging off, and the shelves and drawers were scattered across the driveway. Chad Jones, the homeowner, captured the entire mishap on his Ring camera. The footage showed the workers trying to salvage the situation, with one of them expressing frustration, asking his colleague why he didn't wait so they could handle it together. It was evident the damage was beyond repair. Despite this, the delivery crew initially attempted to claim the fridge was damaged by the manufacturer. However, the camera footage told a different story. and they eventually hauled the broken appliance away. Jones took the incident in stride and shared the video online, where it quickly went viral. Many viewers could relate to the frustration of watching a valuable purchase get ruined before it even entered the home. Though the incident could have caused a major argument, Jones maintained a sense of humor about it, offering advice for others to always secure large appliances properly during delivery to avoid similar disasters. In this case, what was supposed to be a routine delivery job turned into an unforgettable viral moment, and quite possibly the last day on the job for the delivery crew. Number 6. The prank that cost hundreds of jobs. They had a job to make pizza, but ended up creating a nightmare for Domino's. In 2009, 2 employees at a Domino's in Conover, North Carolina, Christy Hammonds and Michael Setzer, decided to play a prank that went horribly wrong. They filmed themselves contaminating food in the most unsanitary ways imaginable, sticking cheese up their noses, sneezing on sandwiches, and then posted the video on YouTube. Their intention was probably to make a few people laugh, but what followed was far from funny. The video quickly went viral, leading to public outrage and a massive backlash against Domino's. Within hours, the company was in damage control mode. They identified the employees and contacted local authorities, leading to felony charges of food contamination. Christy Hammonds and Michael Setzer were arrested and faced potential jail time for their actions. They claimed the food was never sent out, but this contradicted what Setzer initially told police, adding to the public's concern. The impact on Domino's was severe. Their reputation took a significant hit as the video spread worldwide, even reaching mainstream news outlets like the BBC and Court TV. The chain's sales in the area plummeted by 50% within a week, leading to the closure of the Conover store and the loss of hundreds of jobs. The store's owner, Mac Patterson, was left to clean up the mess, literally and figuratively, as the scandal caused widespread distrust in the brand. Before we move on, here's today's subscriber's pick. You know those days when everything seems to go wrong at work? Well, the people in this image are having one of those days, but on an entirely different level. On the left, we have someone so deep into their job, they literally got themselves wedged into the wheel well of a massive truck. It's a scene that screams, "This wasn't in the job description." Then, on the right, we see someone who apparently decided to take on nature head-on. Holding a large chunk of a beehive, this brave soul looks like they got a little too close to the action, judging by those swollen cheeks. It's a painful reminder that some tasks are best left to the professionals. These incidents could easily be the kind that makes a boss say, "You're done here." Whether it's a lack of caution or just plain bad luck, some mistakes are career-ending. So what do you think? Were these daring workers risking it all, or just not thinking it through? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 5. Kids barge in on dad's interview. Professor Robert Kelly had an important job to do on March 10, 2017. As an expert on South Korean politics, he was scheduled for a live interview with the BBC to discuss the impeachment of President Park Geun-hye. This was a serious moment. His analysis was sought by viewers worldwide. Kelly was all set, speaking from his home office in South Korea, dressed in a suit jacket and tie. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, but life had other plans. Just as Kelly was delving into the political climate in South Korea, the door behind him swung open, and in marched his 4-year-old daughter, Marion, with a joyful strut that could not be ignored. She was closely followed by her 8-month-old brother, James, who rolled in with his baby walker. The scene was something out of a sitcom. Here was a professor, in a live discussion on international politics, while his 2 young children crashed the interview without a care in the world. Kelly tried to maintain his composure, gently pushing Marion back while continuing to talk, but it was too late. The chaos was in full swing. His wife, Young-ah Kim, suddenly appeared, rushing into the room like a superhero mom. She swooped up the children and quickly whisked them out, all while trying to stay out of the camera's view. But the moment was already immortalized on live television. The video clip became an instant internet sensation. It was relatable, funny, and a perfect example of the unpredictability of working from home. In no time, Kelly's serious interview transformed into a viral family blooper. Viewers worldwide loved the candidness of it all. Here was a professional, trying to keep things together while his kids simply did what kids do best: steal the spotlight. Despite the unexpected interruption, Kelly managed to finish his interview, though with a bit more difficulty than anticipated. Number 4. BBC reporter gets high on air. Quentin Somerville, a BBC reporter, had quite an unexpected day at work in 2010 while covering a drug bust in Afghanistan. Assigned to report on the burning of a massive pile of confiscated drugs, he stood next to 8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish, and other narcotics. As he began his segment, the smoke from the burning drugs got to him. Inhaling the fumes, Somerville tried to continue his report, but couldn't stop giggling. Each attempt to regain composure only led to more laughter, as he was clearly feeling the effects of the inhaled substances. The incident was captured on video, which Somerville initially posted online in 2014, describing it as a bit of Christmas humor after a tough year of covering conflicts. The clip quickly went viral, and despite being taken down, copies of it continued to circulate online. Somerville's reaction was a natural response to the inhalation of various narcotics, leading to an uncontrollable fit of laughter. The BBC handled the incident in good humor, referring to the video as a blooper. This unusual day on the job turned into a memorable internet moment, showing that even the most seasoned reporters can end up in unexpected situations. Number 3. Central Park. Karen. Amy Cooper's day in Central Park took an unexpected turn that not only changed her life, but sparked a national conversation on race and privilege. On May 25, 2020, she was walking her dog in the Ramble, a popular spot in New York City's Central Park. That's when she encountered Christian Cooper, a black birdwatcher who asked her to leash her dog, as required by park rules. What happened next was caught on video and went viral almost instantly. In the video, Amy was seen calling 911, claiming an African-American man was threatening her and her dog. The incident drew massive backlash, highlighting how racial biases can escalate harmless situations. Many viewers saw her actions as an attempt to use race to her advantage, a dangerous tactic that could have led to severe consequences for Christian. The fallout was swift. Amy was fired from her job at a Manhattan investment firm, and she faced public outrage. She was charged with filing a false police report, which is a misdemeanor with a potential sentence of up to 1 year in jail. However, the charges were later dropped after she completed a therapeutic program that focused on racial identity. Prosecutors stated that she had learned a lot in therapy and that she had no prior criminal record. Number 2. One tweet ends a career. It's one thing to have a bad day at work, but it's a whole different story when a single tweet blows up your life. Justine Sacco, a name you may not have heard before, was a PR executive with a promising career. In 2013, she had a job at IAC, the parent company behind several big brands like Match.com and Vimeo. Her job was literally about managing public relations, which makes what happened next even more ironic. On her way to South Africa for vacation, Sacco made a fateful decision. She tweeted a joke to her 170 followers before boarding her flight. The tweet read, "Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white." By the time her plane touched down 11 hours later, her world had flipped upside down. While Sacco was in the air, her tweet went viral in ways that no one could have predicted. The backlash was immediate and intense. Twitter users were enraged, calling out her insensitivity and racism. The hashtag #HasJustineLanded started trending, with people around the world waiting for her to realize the storm she had caused. Even though she wasn't famous before this, Sacco quickly became the top trending topic on Twitter globally. When Sacco landed in South Africa, she was greeted with the shocking news that her tweet had exploded across the internet. Journalists and social media users were already digging into her life, and her employer, IAC, had wasted no time responding. They issued a statement publicly condemning her tweet and announced that she had been fired, effective immediately. Following the incident, Sacco stayed out of the public eye for a long time. It was reported that she felt devastated by the incident and the hate directed at her. While she eventually found other work, her story became a cautionary tale about the dangers of social media, especially in the professional world. In 2014, Sacco addressed the situation publicly in an interview with Vanity Fair, acknowledging the gravity of her mistake. She expressed regret for the tweet and explained that it was a poorly thought-out joke, never meant to be taken seriously. However, the damage was already done. Number 1. The 3-day job. They say first impressions matter, but for Callie Nguyen, her first days at a new job turned out to be a whirlwind. In 2024, at just 24 years old, Callie stepped into a director role in digital marketing for a medical spa in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This was supposed to be her big break, her chance to shine. However, the reality was far from the dream she envisioned. Right from the start, Callie noticed red flags. Despite her enthusiasm, her boss was unresponsive to her creative ideas, favoring outdated methods. By the 3rd day, things took a turn for the worse. Callie was given a project to boost the company's social media presence, and although she met all the requirements, her boss wanted more, much more. Suddenly, she was expected to have industry knowledge that wasn't part of the original job description. Feeling overwhelmed, she needed a quick mental health break to clear her head. When she expressed this to her boss, it wasn't received well. In a surprising twist, she was fired on the spot. Callie's story is a striking example of how the work environment can make or break a job, even in just a few days. She learned the hard way that mental health and respect are far more important than sticking it out in a toxic situation. Though it was a tough experience, Callie walked away with a valuable lesson. Sometimes, leaving a job early can be the best decision for your well-being. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.